Welcome back to Mad Genius. I'm Ariel Kashanchi, and it is a very sad time in Los Angeles right now. The city is on fire. The Palisades is gone. There are Altadena, so many other cities and are being affected, and it's so devastating. So we need a reprieve. So I hope this can entertain you a little bit if you're an Angelino or if you're somebody who's just watching the news and the devastation. And maybe for a couple minutes, we can get our minds off of the apocalypse, the end of times. And I have my conspiracy theories, and I do believe that there's a lot more arson involved than we realize, and I believe that there's a certain country that I may have been born in that is responsible for it. That's my conspiracy. So I don't know. Am I right? Probably not, but that's the thing with conspiracies. Sometimes we just want something ridiculous, something absurd to make life feel, I don't know, more absurd. I think we need a little bit more absurdity in our lives. Now, not to be forgotten, my favorite person, Meghan Markle, has made sure that we know that she is fighting for the fires. So she released all these statements like that she's taking people in. Okay, you're taking people in. People do that. They don't put out a press release for it. And then she went, her and the husband went and toured somebody's house that had been burnt down with the mayor before the owner of the house could actually see it. Like, who the fuck are you? You're not a politician. You're nobody. You're an actress who was once a member of the royal family. Like, you're not nobility here. Settle the fuck down. It's too much. I can't with these people. She also, remember Uvalde? Remember that tragedy? She went and took pictures there. Like, that, what a world we live in. Okay, all right, okay. I'm done complaining and being negative because we need a little sunshine in our lives, don't we? And some stories, some things that are going on, like the fact that the Pope recently complained that nuns have vinegar faces and it's turning people off from Catholicism. Like, that is the old-timey way of saying smile more to a woman. Like, first of all, they're nuns. What do they have to smile about? All they do is pray all day. Do you think you can walk around praying all day in a fucking cloak and smile? No, they don't have much to smile about. A, let's start there. B, these are stoic people by nature. Like, nuns aren't going around smiling at everyone. Nuns are not like the women from The Sound of Music looking for a dastardly Maria. No, nuns are like, they're just women who are like, I've given myself up to God, and that's it. That's my guy. That's my everything. Of course they're going to have, and by the way, what's wrong with a vinegar face? Vinegar happens to be not only a delicious ingredient in salad dressing, but also it cleans shit. Like, I use it to decalcify my coffee machine. What's wrong with vinegar? Why do you have to dump on vinegar, Pope? I have a problem with this Pope. And he's complaining that young women don't want to become nuns. Well, it's like, hey, asshole, you're not making it very attractive for them. You're not making them want to do this. Okay, there is a college in England that's helping students learn how to talk on the phone. They have something, it's called telephobia, where they're more afraid of receiving calls than making calls, but they also don't make calls. And they think that anytime there's a phone call, it's bad news, which, okay, I can understand that. But I have friends, and these are kids, these are college kids. And their activities to learn to desensitize themselves from this telephobia involve making calls to restaurants and asking them their hours, calling restaurants and retail stores and asking them stupid, mundane questions. Which, I mean, the fact that this exists is so weird. Like, what a world are we living in? Of course, I would rather. I have friends, though. I'm a caller. I like to call people. I like to talk. Hence the fact I have a podcast where I just sit and talk solo. I could just talk for hours. I'm one of those people. And I have friends who, if I don't see or hear from for a while, I will place a phone call. I'm not going to text somebody, how are you doing? Maybe unless it's like right now, a state of an emergency. That's a different thing. But if I really want to see how somebody's doing, I pick up the goddamn phone and I call them. I have a friend, Mark, who every time I call him, he's shocked. Like, I'm like, dude, I call you every few months. Why do you act like this is a new occurrence? We're friends. We've been friends for many, many years. And we talk on the phone for long periods of time. Why would you be shocked? And I have friends who we have like not like we schedule it, but like I have my roster of friends who I talk to regularly, but I'm not opposed to adding to that. I don't think we should be. I think we should all just be like, yeah, I want to talk to people more on the phone. It's a nice way to connect since we're not leaving the house very much these days. Let's talk on the phone a little bit. I think it's a good idea. What else do I want to talk about? This is going to be a shorty, you guys. Not that my podcasts are very long, but I was like trying to find topics, and the only things that like tickled my pickle are as follows. Oh, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, whatever that company is, Meta, I guess. They have a new moderation policy, and women can be identified as household objects, and non-binary and trans people can be called it. And that's it's pretty terrible, I would say. But at the same time, I mean, I think we've got bigger fish to fry, Facebook. Like, put your time and energy into finding some sex trafficking victims. I'm sure there's a lot that goes on there. Like, use your resources for that. Let people say gross things. I posted something on my Instagram a couple days ago, and it was the mayor of Los Angeles who had just gotten back from Ghana when she was advised to not go because there were high winds and high chances of brush fires in Los Angeles. They told her not to go, but she still went to Ghana for some ceremony. And she gets back and she's in the terminal, and the reporter is like, do you have anything to say? And they kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and she refused to say word until she got to a press conference. Why? Because she can't talk on her own. She needs to have handlers tell her what to say. That you're the mayor of a huge metropolis. You should be able to say, I feel terrible for those who have lost their homes, and we are working very hard right now to get this contained. That's all you would have to say. That's all people want. They want some words of not encouragement, but some words of comfort from the mayor who's running the city. Like, that's all. And then the comments I got, I knew I would get some hate, but there was this one guy who was like commenting against everyone else. He was like getting into comment fights with everyone in my feed. And this is like some guy I met once who was like a friend of a friend who we just followed each other on Instagram. You know, you just like perfunctorily like, oh yeah, great to meet you. Let's follow each other. We're never going to see each other again. We have nothing in common. And he's going through and a lot of his retorts are like, you're not relevant, boo. And, you know, like very, what's the word? Sophomoric behavior. It was, and pathetic. And I'm just like, ew, social media is really a place where people bring out their inner grossness and they just let it fly. What else is going on? Oh my God. Microsoft is trying to disguise Bing, its search page, as Google. So if you go on a Microsoft browser and you look and you put it Google in, instead of taking you to Google, it takes you to their page, their search page that looks similar to Google, but it's not. They're getting desperate, Microsoft. That's what I just wanted to say. Bill Gates, this is embarrassing. Okay. A German woman of Yazdani descent, she lured her doppelganger into a forest and killed her. She found her on social media, made her think she won some kind of some contest for like a makeover, and her co-murderer picked this woman up, took her into the woods, stabbed the shit out of her, killed her, and then put her in her own car because she was faking her death. Is this not insane? And this woman has also tried to kill her. She hired a hitman for her brother-in-law. Like, it sounds like you're not in a great marriage and you can't get out because of cultural reasons. But I wouldn't say killing an innocent person is the right approach. I think there's resources. Get on ChatGPT, madam. You can find anything you need on ChatGPT. That's what I do. Okay, now Armie Hammer is having his comeback. Isn't that crazy? After everything that came out about him. Now, mind you, I just want to say the Armie Hammer controversy was a little different because it came out during COVID when people were bored out of their minds. They had way too much to do, so anything could be horrific. We know that what he did, he was a shitty guy. It doesn't sound like he hasn't been convicted of rape. There have been no assault charges brought against him. He just lost his career and got canceled. And I listened to him on a podcast. It sounds like he's just kind of a douche who's always gotten what he wants. And he has like that insatiableness that a douche who's always gotten what he wants has, where he's like, yes, I'm married to a beautiful woman who sounds like she's pretty cool. But I want more, and I want to control these women, and I want this crazy back and forth, and I don't know, man. Some women are into that shit. I don't think it's that bad. I'm just gonna say, I don't think he actually ate anybody's rib. I think he's like being hyperbolic, and I don't think he's a cannibal. I really don't. I think he's just like yeah, will you give me your rib? Like, he wants to hear it. He wants to hear the sickest things. He wants you to say, yes, I'll sacrifice my firstborn for you. That's the kind of thing that turns on Armie Hammer, because he's like a good looking rich guy who's been given everything he ever wanted. So now he's going to be starring in The Dark Knight, and I think it's appropriate. I think it's time. Oh my God, there is a Ralph's grocery store near me that when I had the Citizen app was always getting robbed. And sure enough, the other day it got robbed again. And this was like a particularly stupid robber. This guy took off in a Waymo. What is a Waymo, you may ask? It's a driverless car. It's like an Uber with no driver. And very easy to track because it's a goddamn driverless car. So that, like, they immediately pulled him over, and it's just like, these criminals are so stupid. But I guess it's like, if you're going to be like a smart criminal, you're going to be doing cyber fraud. So I guess if you're putting criminals on the scale of criminals, you have the stupid blue collar, like low stealing from a grocery store ones, and then the ones, the Bernie Madoffs of the world. Obviously, I think I would rather be mid-level, actually, a mid-level criminal. If I was going to be a criminal, I'd be a mid-level, like someone who could make a comeback and, like, you know, get my PhD in prison and really just make it, and then make it in the world. Write a book about my time in prison. Hopefully it'll get turned into like the next Orange is the New Black, something amazing, or a book about my life after prison, but something where I can really capitalize on it. So, you know, what I'm saying is I'm considering criminalism. I don't know what form. One thing I've always wanted to do, I've always dreamed of starting a cult where cats would be the deities, and you would just have to be a decent human being, but also give me a lot of your money, tithing, you know. But starting a cult is so complex, taxes and whatnot. And I don't know, am I charismatic enough? Am I? Do I have what it takes to start a cult? I don't know. Oh, I was just going to say I once fled the police. I was jaywalking and into a bar with a friend and my sister, and this cop saw us jaywalking, and he comes after us. We ran into this restaurant and ran into the ladies' room and just hid there until we knew the cop was gone. I think that's one of the I think I've been close to being arrested other times, but we'll revisit that another time. Okay, I better get back to doom scrolling about the fires, and fingers crossed that they can contain it. That, I don't know, something magical happens and it rains. That would be really, truly wonderful. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please leave me a review, some stars. Please tell a friend about the podcast. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.